Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now it's been a while since we've done a tactic video, so I thought it was time we did another one. I think we've done a 4-3-3, 4-3-1-2, and I think 4-4-2 narrow diamond. So today I'm going to attempt to talk through here 4-2-2-2. It's a tactic that I've been using in a couple of my saves recently. One in Indonesia and like a lower league Pacific Rim Journeyman challenge. And another one that I've quickly trialled but not developed fully is my saving shelter save out in Germany into the third season. Tried it at the end of the season. Didn't really go as planned, but I know it does work. I certainly know it works for lower league teams and kind of teams that maybe aren't so good. So again, waiting to try that a little bit further, but I thought I'd talk you through it. It's a tactic that I've seen crop up quite a lot. So we'll talk through it, give a few options, talk about how I've implemented in one of my saves, maybe options how I'd maybe change it for kind of other saves or other team variations, if you like, depending on the kind of players you've got to work with. So what we'll do is we'll go to create our own tactic. We'll pick a 4-2-2-2 DM AM narrow, confirm that. That brings up our blank slate, start from scratch. As always, what we like to do, nothing better than I think picking your own tactic. Like I say, nothing wrong with picking a pre-selected one, but I do like kind of messing around and developing my own styles of player. So we've got our kind of preset here. First thing I like to look at is obviously start from the back to the top. As I go through, I'll implement a few variations, maybe talk about how it links with kind of the tactical style, defensive position, things like that, higher press or defensive line. So how things may change depending on how or what style you want to play. So first of all, I'm going to start with pretty much an attacking-minded tactic. As always, it's the way I tend to play until I think I need to dial it back. But we'll talk about a few variations as we go through. But starting with first off the goalkeeper, as always, pretty much for me to sweep a keeper either on defend or support. The way we set up this tactic, there's a good argument to have a goalkeeper on support. So we'll go with that, and I'll explain again a little bit more in a while. Now, with this one narrow tactic, your fundamental kind of outlet, if you like, is always going to be pretty much your wing backs. You have no width theory other than your two guys on your right and left kind of full back positions or wing back positions. So straight away, my first thought's always wing back on attack. You want these kind of guys basically working these channels up and down. Obviously, you need attributes that kind of go with that. Kind of good dribbling, ball control, crossing ability would be ideal as well. Bit of pace, never goes amiss, flair, things like that. So, but that's kind of our foundation to start with. That's going to be our width, our creativity, and basically how we're looking to get the ball up that pitch. Now, again, that slightly changes with maybe your kind of team instructions, which again we'll talk about in a little bit, but we'll just focus on this for now. This kind of this first one, and I'll mention a few little changes you can make later. So we've got our wing backs, we'll put them on attack. A few PIs I would probably implement is maybe sit narrower. Stating that again, this will probably explain a little bit better once we come to the kind of overall tactics. Cross more often, and I'll probably have some like tackle harder on. Again, with tackling, I either put it as a PI for each player, tackle harder, who I want to be tackling harder, or I'll set as a team instruction. Very rare do I do both. I just find that it creates more kind of free kicks and yellow cards and settings off having both tick, but maybe that's just me. I can't really confirm or deny that. If that's, I can't prove it, shall I say, with any data or factors, the way I feel. So that's pretty much where I kind of sit now. You can have dribble more on if you have a really good kind of dribbler of the ball. So maybe something like that. So you want to kind of get on the ball and basically carry the ball up the pitch. So get hold of that ball, dribble it with that pace, dribbling ability, crossing ability. You're going to find your wing backs up here somewhere, hopefully whipping balls in. But see, we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go. Again, setting the back positions. Now, depending on how good my centre backs are, again, playing at lower league level, as you imagine, they weren't particularly great. So I normally have centre backs on defend, on tackle harder, doing their job, sitting in the centre of defence, and that's it. Just win the ball back, put your tackles in, quite simply. Now, again, there's an argument to call these as ball-playing defenders, and the way I always think of it is, depending on how good my players in front of them are with the ball, if they're good passers of the ball, if they have good vision, if they have traits like play balls to the wings or something of that nature. And then I tend to just have these as centre-backs on defend because I know my midfielders can do that job. If they're maybe great at tackling or great at closing down, great defensive midfielders, but lack passing ability, and I have good ball-playing defenders, then I'll make them ball-playing defenders and ask them to kind of bypass them, if you like, and then make these kind of killer balls to wherever I want them to go, whether to the wing-backs or through the centre of midfield, etc., etc. So again, player dependent, generally dictates how my centre-backs operate, pretty much, and my defensive midfielders. So again, pretty simple with them. Just tackle harder, probably shoot less often if you find that they're kind of somehow getting up there and from crazy shots on goal, which you probably shouldn't really see. But moving on to the defensive midfielder side, now, again, this is probably where you have different variations depending on the different style of play. So for this tactic in mind, and again, it'll come a little bit clearer once we move into the kind of overall team tactics, is I like to have something like a defensive midfielder. So I tend to have two of these purely because it does what it says. Now I've got wing backs kind of bobbing on, so we'll explain that a little bit more. Wing backs are going to be up here somewhere, a good part of the time, certainly in the attacking phase. They'll be up there looking for the ball, doing what they need to do, crossing balls in, really high up the pitch. So you're going to be left pretty much exposed on these flanks. Now, we want someone who can kind of win these balls back just defensively, help out these kind of two centre-backs here who are going to be pretty isolated. Now, there is kind of an argument for an anchor on defend who's literally just sit there, pretty much just sit there and that's his job. Cover that defence, don't do anything else, just kind of defend. It's more or less like an extra defender. But look at something like a defensive midfielder on defend. If you look at their defensive midfielders' main duties are protect the defensive line first and foremost from breaking attackers by closing them down quickly and to support the creative midfielders when in possession. So in our case, in my mind, we've not really got any creative midfielders to kind of help out because of our tactic, but we have got these wing backs. So in my mind, if I have someone on defend there, he'll still do his duty, he'll defend, he'll hold that position, close players down if they try and kind of attack or kind of launch quick attacks. But also, he'll be up here supporting these wing backs as they come up. He'll be around here somewhere, offering that outlet from the wing back to maybe play 1-2s back again. See if you haven't got wing backs who are that blessed with that pace, but they may want to kind of look out for an outlet. My DM here can offer that, no problem whatsoever. Up here, he'll hover around here, and it could be an outlet for that wing back. So for me, I just kind of look at that kind of stats and that ability. It kind of, to me, gets the best of both worlds. Playing the attack that we are with kind of two high midfielders who are going to be aggressive, two aggressive wing backs. It offers that balance between a little bit of creativity in midfield and that defensive responsibility. So first one I like to say I'll have on is DM on defend. Now this one, again, can change. There's a good argument for us to have a volante on support or attack, probably with the two midfielders in front of us, I would say on support. So we can kind of come up this way, support the attacking phase. But again, if that's happening there, these guys are kind of up here somewhere. Yes, we're very attacking, probably score goals, but we're probably getting left a little bit isolated with one man trying to stop any counter-attacks coming through, or two centre-backs here. And bear in mind, he could easily find himself up here somewhere as well, so it does leave us a bit light. So I do like to have this one, again, as a more defensive-minded midfielder, but again, I want that flexibility. And I think the DM on support offers that. You get what it says with a defensive midfielder, check the defensive line, from breaking attackers, close them down quickly, support the creative midfielders, which are wing backs in this case, and with the support duty, midfielder will sit in the midfield line and support any attacking moves as well. So I think that kind of gives us the best of both worlds. In the defensive phase, he's going to be here, protecting who he needs to protect. If the wing backs are caught out of position and we face a quick counter attack, he's not too far away to come back, close down these attackers. With this formation, probably stopping you through balls. Yes, we might find ourselves a little bit kind of vulnerable to these wider areas, but that's always going to be the case with a narrow formation. So that's in my mind, that's not a bad setup. Like I say, argument for a Secundae Volante, but for me, maybe something a little bit more defensive, maybe even a kind of a deep line playmaker and defender as well, maybe someone that you want this kind of opposition, ping balls out there and thereabouts, but maybe not get too far out of position. But I think if you've got someone who's kind of technically gifted, like a good ball winning midfielder, good tackling stats, good stamina, work rate, I think kind of a DM just kind of really suits that. And it really does work, like I see in that lower level as well. Very simple. You start off with a clean slate, so you can ask them to do what you want. Again, for me, it would just be simply probably tackle harder. And for both of these, probably maybe even kind of take less risks, maybe depending on the passing ability. But overall, keep it simple. Keep it, ask them to do the job that you want them to do. Close down any attackers, and in this case, support the midfield on the attack. And obviously, this guy is just going to sit there and stop any kind of counter attacks, if you like, in my mind. So that's our kind of initial kind of back line, if you like. So we've got a wing back, two wing backs on attack, driving forward, for creative force, if you like, depending on ability, and two DMs, one on defend, one on support. You can see a lot of flexibility in this. Just going to do a volunteer, absolutely on support, get the ball up there, up to this kind of attacking phase. If you haven't got that much kind of faith in your wing backs, that's probably a case where you maybe dial these back to maybe wing backs on support, just to kind of hover around there while you've got other guys moving forward, if you like, or maybe a full back on attack or support as well. So they're kind of not going as far up, not getting too high up the pitch, still giving that kind of defensive solidity while you have your other, maybe some more creative attacking players, if you like, coming forward a lot more. But like I say, plenty of options, plenty of things to think about and kind of tweak with. But at the moment, this is what we kind of focus on. This is kind of our initial shape. So heading up to the attacking phase, if you like, two attacking midfielders. Like I say, this is a weird formation for me. I don't normally kind of, especially I've probably tried anything like this too as well, to be honest with you, and any saves, but it just freaks me out. I don't know what it is. I think it's the two kind of three sets of two behind each other. But again, a lot of flexibility with this. There's, again, a good argument of two attacking midfielders. I'll put them on, say, on attack, get really aggressive. So you have two attacking midfielders on attack there. Obviously, without attack attribute on, it would have been a clean slate, which is why I quite like it. And from there, what I would always do is put these on again, probably tackle harder. And probably the most important one, I think, for this, for any narrow formation, is move into channels. I think when you lack something like width and kind of on a narrow formation, and you have kind of obviously wing backs kind of bombing on, these are going to need some form of support. And I think when you have kind of attacking midfielders or advanced playmakers, setting them in the channels here, just to sit here, offer that little bit of support. So, for example, if you kind of wing backs up here somewhere, bombing on, gets in a little bit of trouble, you have your midfielders here, more like kind of like Mazzala, we'd expect Mazzala to drift out to, offers that support, that outlet, bottom, and come back to the rim, and either get played back to the wing back for a cross, or driven into the box for your attackers, or a cross coming in from here. It just offers that little bit of support, that little bit of help. And it's certainly something I would have done, or I certainly did do on my narrow formation, my 4-4-2, is having like at least one of these Mazzalas in a box-to-box. I still had that trait, move into channels, just to kind of come up to here, help out there, those wing backs out, give them a little bit, offer them an outlet, offer them like a pass or an option, just to kind of give the ball to. And yeah, I think that works really well. So you can see we'll have them both possibly as attacking midfielders on attack. Nothing stopping you. Again, obviously we'll have them moving to channels. Both of these. Good. Moving to channels, tackle harder. Like I say, nothing stopping you having kind of a shadow striker on attack. Maybe if you're chasing the game, you've got to be particularly really aggressive and, dropping one to kind of a shadow striker on attack where he's just going to say as he operates as one of your team's main goal scoring threats. Got kind of two advanced forwards, for example, pulling defensive opposition. This guy kind of running in, being really aggressive. Probably like say good if you're chasing the goal. You want to kind of really ramp it up and really get them players at the box to try and get an equaliser or snatch a late winner. But we'll have this at the moment as, like I say, an attack midfielder. Again, advanced playmaker on attack as well, may not be a bad option. A few little PIs, let's say, shoot less often. Obviously, you want to get a dribble more, take more risks. certainly not bad to have again, but that moving to channels, great passing ability. I think either attacking midfielder or an advanced playmaker. But the advanced playmaker is going to be slightly less aggressive. So maybe if you want to ease off a little bit, but still in that kind of creativity, you can maybe change these to advanced playmakers or have one of each. But for the moment, we're going to be quite aggressive. Having an attack midfielder and an attack there. Moving to channels, supporting these wing backs out. And then again, should all work fairly well. Should all flow into it pretty nicely. Moving on to the attacking phase again. This is kind of subjective depending on what you've got. I've tried it out with the target forward, along with an advanced forward. I've had an advanced forward and a poacher. Seem to work quite well. 2 advanced forwards, if you've got kind of both guys with those attributes, pace and certainly beat the offside trap, things like that. Fantastic. If not advanced forward, like I say, lead the line, put the speed of attacking moves. It's be the focal point of attacking moves and is required to both score and create. So these could be like creating for each other, creating for the advanced attacking midfielders or advanced playmakers. Moving ground players out of position. So you can see, we'll make runs at the defensive line from deep positions, into craft out crossing or through ball possibilities. So you can see a good argument to say to have 2 advanced forwards in. I do tend to have something a little bit different, like a poacher, someone who just kind of hovers around there, not doing much, while these kind of guys are doing all the, if you've got one guy kind of really driving out the defence, over crossing through balls, this guy can get himself in a position to just hang there. They can kind of supply each other. He can maybe supply him. If this guy gets a ball, he can makes a run through and supply him, etc., etc. Bear in mind, you might have attacking midfielders hovering around here as well. So you suddenly kind of might find yourself with kind of a 4-man attack, which overwhelms teams. And it does. Like it's even at like kind of the lower level I played at that, where the players' attributes and abilities maybe weren't great, they still work really, really well. Even kind of with the wing backs on attack, kind of wing backs weren't even good fullbacks, to be honest with you. Never mind wing backs, but it just seemed to work. And I think it's just that kind of overloading while still remaining defensively solid. Just worked really well. PIs on here again, probably pretty simple. Get tackle harder, try and win that ball back. Shoot less often if you want. Maybe take more risks if you want to kind of pass a little bit more and create a lot more. And to be honest with you, that's probably another one you can probably have on there as well. Maybe take more risks. As well as that, maybe kind of make them passes a lot more into the box. But mess around with it, find out what works best for you. Like say, I find that this version of Manger, find simplicity just kind of seems to work a lot for me. Keep things simple. Don't try and overload anything. Certainly in the lower leagues, which I've been playing out in Indonesia, in Liga 2, as part of my journeyman. But overall, this is the structure I'll go for. Seems to work really well. Like I say, there's loads that you can tweak and change. And that, again, that'll depend on team tactics, which we'll probably talk about now. For me, I always go positive. A very rare kind of go attacking. I don't know why. I always pick a positive mentality. Always seems to kind of work for me in all my tactics. Tend not to change that. In possession, again, this is where kind of a variation. In my mind, I'm creating like a little ticky-tack. I want to keep possession. I don't want to give the ball away too much. Certainly, again, in the lower leagues, I don't want to be making kind of expansive passes because players don't have that kind of passing range. So I like to have shorter passing on, keep things compact. Now, I do go slightly higher tempo. If I was playing with a kind of a better team, I may even increase that to a really higher tempo. Similar guys playing on me, most of my tactics, I like that kind of quick passing, quick pace, kind of play around teams. But yeah, so if this tactic, that's kind of what I'll go for. Certainly in the lower league, I've dropped that slightly. I just think that creates less mistakes. If I was playing with a kind of a better team, like say for example, Michel to save the Bundesliga, slightly better stamp of player, I'd probably increase that to a really high tempo. But I find that slightly higher seems to work. Again, if it's looking even still sloppy, we've dropped that down to standard. But the idea is that although we want to keep possession, we do want to move the ball around, get into the opposition area, score goals. That's obviously the ultimate aim. So, like I say, depending on the level you're playing at, either higher or slightly higher. Again, the approach play. Now, with us using wing backs and aggressive wing backs on attack, there is a kind of a focus to kind of focus play down the left and right. play out of defence as well. I always like to kind of start things from defence, keep things controlled, and obviously stops your goalkeeper hoofing the ball into no man's land. So in this tactic, this is what we're going for. This is the way I played in my lower league save. Use my wing backs. Certainly if they've got a bit of pace, get that ball up that pitch quickly. And that's kind of the thing I'm thinking about. Again, going back to what we discussed about how if you haven't got such good wing backs or full backs, but you have really outstanding creative defenders or midfielders, there's also an argument to say if folks play down the middle and then let them maybe say, look for the overlap left, overlap right, maybe. So use your creative force in the midfield, let them find your wing backs, which is kind of a setup I had for my 4-4-2 narrow diamond. It works really well. You see some lovely kind of interaction between the midfield and the wing backs as well, where you kind of pass the wing back and you may play nice little 1-2s being played, and kind of really drags the opposition team into the centre of the pitch, opens up that space on the wings. So a lot of options there. Like I say, tinker around with it. Have a look at what players you've got first and foremost. But what I like to start with is just focus play down the left and right. Let them wing backs get all the ball, get up the pitch, and certainly with that kind of defensive mentality I've got with me defensive midfielders, although they are there to support, they are primarily looking to stop kind of counter attack. So I want my wing backs to get all that ball, get up the pitch, and create chances. Again, work ball to the box, depending on how your tactics panning out. If you score lots of goals, get lots on target. Without that on, absolutely fantastic. If you find you're getting lots of shots, but kind of not many on target and not really seeing games out or closing games out, maybe you want to refine it, work ball in the box on. Another one, again, depending on ability, is be more expressive, quite a bit more about your better players. Certainly if you kind of wing backs and you kind of your advanced attacking midfielders or advanced playmakers, wherever you use them. But another one, run defence. So that's the team to kind of really put pressure on that defence, certainly with that kind of 4-man attack, if you like, with your kind of attack midfielders drifting out wide, your kind of wing backs bombing on, advanced forwards, get them to kind of run at defence, cause problems, cause panic in that box, create opportunities. Again, toggle this on and off depending on how you see it kind of going. I've tried both. I tend to leave it on at the moment. Like I say, probably depending on the ability of your team, the level that you're at, the level of if you're even playing a lower league, but you're one of them top teams in that league, you can maybe get away with that. Maybe leave this kind of thing for when your team gets a little bit more cohesion. You start seeing them nice green lines between players. Entirely up to you, but try with it on, try with it off, and see how you get on. Crosses, I always tend to go for low crosses. I tend to find you get a variation of them anyway, of low, high, and anything in between. And that's kind of that sets about kind of in possession. Moving to transition, again, as pretty much always, counter pressing, counter. Try to distribute quickly if you want to kind of create these kind of quick counter attacks using your wing backs. But again, I tend to just kind of distribute the full backs and centre backs. Let them kind of find the right pass, if you like. Goalkeeper, I tend to either roll it out or take short kicks. Roll it out guarantees that's one of these anyway, either a full back or a centre back. Let you create that kind of path and that momentum and gets the ball away. But yeah, pretty standard, pretty straightforward. I think this is how I kind of set up most of my tactics. I may release a video as well. I've been tinkering around with a kind of a lesser gegenpress style, if you like. Where kind of using the regroup, the whole shape, and a slightly lower line, etc. But that's for another day. So that's how we're in transition. So basically, counter attack, counter pressing, counter attacking, comes to distribution, full back, centre backs, roll it out. Make sure there's no mistakes by your goalkeeper there. So out of possession, now this is something that I've taken up a bit with as well. Previously, I normally used to score for the kind of standard line with the higher press, high line of engagement. But when I trialed it and looked at the tactic, you've got a huge gap left in this kind of centre of midfield here that can easily be exploited. And like you said before, we wing backs up here, huge gaps in the midfield, huge gaps on the kind of left and right flanks. Just leads to kind of goals getting conceded. So something that I probably haven't kind of done in a while was actually tried a much higher defensive line, a higher press, high line of engagement. Does seem to work really well. Like you see, it closes them gaps up. Obviously, it requires hard work rate. You kind of and leaves you open to kind of through balls. But with the way we've got our DM set up in this kind of instance, it seems to work. Obviously, you've got 2 DMs out there, 2 centre backs. Yes, our wings are still slightly exposed, but I haven't seen many goals conceded by through balls. It does seem to work kind of particularly well, to be quite honest. There's the kind of, like, say, a case to maybe drop it back slightly. If I was using a Segunde Volante, for example, I probably wouldn't have that higher kind of line. What I'll probably have is, because I know he's wanting to get the ball, get up that pitch and get that ball up there for me. But because I haven't got that, I'm going to keep things compact, win that ball back, put the pressure on, kind of higher up the pitch, like I say, go short goalkeeper distribution, trigger press much more often, and that's pretty much the setup that I've kind of gone for. Like I say, I find that it does work. I find that I'm not conceding many goals, actually, even using this kind of aggressive kind of formation, if you like, the higher line, even in the lower leagues. Now, like I say, I haven't tried it fully with me Schalke team, but early signs weren't great, I'll be perfectly honest. So I may have to dial that back a touch with playing the higher quality player who maybe have that vision, that pace, that quality to play through balls and punish this higher line. But so far in the lower leagues, Indonesian league, it's working fantastic. And that's, like to say, that pretty much it. Lots to kind of think about on this tactic, lots of kind of tweaks you can make. Certainly the areas I would probably look at is your DMs, decide on what you want to do. Do you want these to be purely defensive and support your centre backs? Or your centre backs maybe could be ball playing defenders and kind of push on a bit more. I just find that this works. So I still create chances. I think with a elite team, I'd be more aggressive. I could probably have these as ball playing defenders as well as attacking wing backs, and maybe have these a little bit more freedom, if you like, and really go full on attack. But I just find this is that balance that I need and kind of the level I play at the moment. Like I say, really kind of lower tier, but surprisingly works. Kind of thought I might have put too much onto the players in terms of kind of what the tactic was all about. But like I say, in the Indonesian League 2, I know it's not much, but I've dominated the league. Pretty much went unbeaten all season. Had a good cup run. I was competing against teams in the higher level. Overachieved. I think I was supposed to be the 12th best team in that kind of league structure. Like I say, I end up topping it and getting promoted. So, pretty good tactic. Again, I've got to do a little bit more work on the higher levels. My Schalke save. I haven't looked at that properly yet. I'll be releasing another video sometime this week where I'm going to be looking at the next season. So, probably get back to you on that. I'll talk about it in that video. But yep, that's my 4-2-2-2 say formation. It still leaves me feeling a bit weird using because I just don't know what it is. But like, so hopefully I'll give you a few ideas. You see, drop a comment down below. Tell us what you think. What do you do? How do you play it? I know this is kind of a tactic that kind of seems to be coming. I don't know if it's starting in Brazil or something. Someone will be able to tell me about that a lot more. But I've seen it used. Actually saw it used in my Schalke save by another team, like an AI team. It kind of just got me thinking. It seemed to perform really well. And like I say, let me know if you've used it, if you use a variation of it. What player roles do you do? What do you do different? What advice would you have for this tactic? So get involved. Give us a kind of your opinion. And like I say, if you enjoy the channel, enjoy the content I'm putting out, please give it a thumbs up. As a minimum, if you want to do a bit more, please subscribe. That'll be even better. But thanks for watching, and bye for now.